Well, I got this query today about Wicks. Wicks that you see in the stock markets, in your candlesticks. That is exactly what the doubt is about. So in this lecture, I'm going to talk about everything that you need to know as a trader, as an investor, as a market participant about the Wicks. What are they? How to interpret them? And how to take trading decisions. What kind of Wicks are good? What kind of Wicks are something to be taken a caution of? So let's get started. So this was this exact query. After retrospecting and revisiting the lectures, I think I'm facing difficulty deciding candles during contraction, especially using wicks to accept or reject a candle. For me, there is a lot of subjectivity with the wicks. Make sense? Fine. And see, although I could have answered you by replying just a few things, but see, the query that you have asked is a bit open-ended, right? Because there is contraction being mentioned, which is in itself a huge thing. And within the contraction, you are having difficulties in wicks, whether to accept or reject one, right? There is a lot of subjectivity. So we'll tackle it. In this lecture, I'm going to tackle everything about the wicks, because so far I've never talked about wicks in isolation. So let's do that. How do wicks look? Let's see those. So a candle may look like this. This is a wick on the upside. Candle may look like this. This is also a wick. And this is also a wick. Candle may be like this. This is also, right? Nothing else. Now see, on the face of it, if you have read books and all that, I'm sure there are names for this. There is a name for this and there is a name for this. Right? I'm sure you have read that. But let's go beyond that. There is much more to it. Seemingly, these candles look simple to you, but there is more. What exactly is that? Let's see it. So see, when I see this candlestick and I ask you a question, what do you think about it? Is it bearish or is it bullish? I mean, you are students of Rich Road. You better give the right answer this time, right? You don't know. Could be bearish, could be bullish. Okay. That is exactly where the subjectivity is coming from. Fine. But the good thing is, you will see a lot of people by default will call something as bearish or something as bullish. They'll see this wick and they'll call it bearish. And when they see this, they'll call it bullish. It's not as simple and straightforward. What is that? Let's see it. Let's see it, in fact, through chart. Then I'll give you more theory on that. But let's see this real deal. A recent trade that I took. So you had these green candles looking good. Now focus on these candlesticks with wick. Here is one with wick. Correct? So this will be number one. And then you have another one here. I'll label it as number two. Fine. Both the candles are having wick. So they are a bit different, but again, if you see everything, these are the candles with wick on the upper side. Not exact carbon copies, but they are pretty similar. What is the difference? The biggest difference that you will see here is location. Where are they happening? That is the most important thing. Where they are happening and what was happening before that. What is that candle with the wick trying to do? So when I talk about one, the number one wick is within what? Contraction or base, whatever you may call it, or a pullback, whatever you wish. Number two is what? A part of expansion. And that makes a lot of difference. That makes a lot of difference. I mean, see these right wicks. See this wick. Makes a lot of difference. Is your location point. So I've tried to mark these. The candles with the wicks. Now you know it well, right? You just cannot see a candle and label it bearish or bullish. What we will do is we'll have a look. Have a look where? some time frame. We'll see some time frame. Okay. And that will make a lot of difference again. What is that difference? I'll show it to you in a bit. But the first thing that you have to get very clear is your location. Where is a candle couple? If number one happens to be at number two, which it is happening here, right? Number one and number two, candles with wick. But they both imply pretty different things in their functionality and what they are trying to tell you. How is that? See, when there is number one, what do you see on the left hand side? Well, red candles coming back down. So these candles are shifting the tide. They are doing the hard work. And because of that, they are getting hammered. It's getting difficult, but they are trying and they are changing the winds. It was coming back down, now it's going up. How do you know that? These candles are making higher lows. I'm sure if you'll see, this is daily. If you see 15 minutes, you will see what? This. Get the point? Okay. Now, if you talk about the trend, how does the uptrend look like? We know it very well now, right? What are these? These are pullbacks within an uptrend. If I just take, let's say, if I draw this and this, and I say that this was your what? Open, and this was your close, and this was your high, and this was your low. So the open and low were the same, right? Now try to draw a candle using this. How will it look like? Close here and open here. So a candle which on the face of it looks like horrible, coming back down is nothing but actually what? Structurally, it's uptrend. It's just a part of the uptrend. After a downtrend, somewhere, after a lot of selling, this candle was doing nothing but helping you establish uptrend, which is a very good thing. Correct? Okay. Now, what do you see next? Number two. What is happening on the left? You are going up, going up, going up. And if you see the wicks, how do you think will the uptrend look like? Let's clear some space up over here and try to understand it. This is really important. If you get this, it's going to change a lot of things for you. So what was happening? Right from here, you had the uptrend, right? And you're going up. And see how the close is happening versus the close that happened for number two, which tells you one thing. What? Let's say this is how the uptrend was. And then suddenly, the acceleration went up. A lot of good momentum came. So the prices are climbing higher. Then a little come back down. Then what happens is you go up high, but then you again come back steeply. Steeper than ever. You see number two, there is a lot of wick, a lot of retracement that has happened. And that is how it will look like. And this can be what? A red big candle as big as a green CB candle in the uptrend. Is that a good thing? After a long uptrend here? Definitely not. Definitely. Because the uptrend is getting what? Old, or whatever you wish to say, that number of bases, old stock, whatever you wish. That's how it will be. And I'll show it to you now on the hourly of this stock. Have a look at the hourly. You see number one? I'll show you the number one candle. You see this? This is your number one candle. And you see this. This is your number two. What is, now if you see, green candle, big red candle. Green candle, big red candle. But after what? And why is that big red candle happening over here and over here? Here you are trying to establish uptrend. You are fighting against these people. And that's why there is a lot of sell-off coming through this. But then what is happening? See this candle. A good counter move to that candle. And see number two. Who are you fighting over here? There is no one. There is no one you are fighting, right? You are above that. Get my point? So what's the reason for this? A candle as big as a green CB candle? That's never a good thing. But it's a good thing over here. You know it and why. You are trying to fight off. And that's the important of location. Two candles which look almost similar. If you just consider these two, they look almost similar. The point that makes all the difference is what? Your location, where the candle is forming. So I'll give you some more things. Let's say there is a stock which has gone up like this, and then it's in a big base and all that, and then you see a lot of wicks coming here. That's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine. Why is that? You are within the contraction highs. This is where the contraction started. You are still within those highs. So there is a lot of selling pressure, if you may allow me to say that. And that is the reason for this. And what is happening? If you will go and check this, let's say if this is daily, if you go and check the hourly of this, what you will see? There's nothing but a good CB, and then there is a small consolidation, right? You're trying to fight off these sellers. That is the reason you are getting these kind of wicks, and that is absolutely fine. Build your positions. These are good candles. But now just imagine that there is a stock has been going up for a long time. Over here, it starts giving you wicks without any such reason. Now, you will say that, okay, what if? Let's twist it. Let me twist it for you. And you say that, what if I do this, that the stock has been falling, but then you know what happens? Starts climbing up. Now we are near what? And we start making these candles or wicks. Now, is this good or bad? This, in most of the cases you will see, is a pretty bad. Now, the question is why? They are at resistance. Left hand side, there are a lot of sellers. Here you are saying it is bad. And here you just said it's pretty good. What is the reason? Well, if you figure out the drawings, what is this? Steep up move. If this is daily, weekly would be extreme of 3-5 candles. If you see this, pretty simple. And within this big up move, you get the point. The weekly of this will look like, let's say, 5 big red candles, and then you have 3 or 4 good green candles. That's it. V-shape. Over here, you probably have a trend here, and everything is happening within what? This big up move. Over here, that is not the case. So again, you see, it's amalgamation of everything that you're doing and learning. When you put everything into the right context, it makes sense. And when you don't, things will look very complicated. So if you see wicks happening within the base, it's absolutely fine. Near these areas, within the uptrend, absolutely fine. Within the buying candles on the left hand side, it's fine. But if you see these happening in such scenarios, keeping all the concepts together, then you will understand what the wicks are trying to tell you. I'll give you an example on the chart. So KPI green, right? I'll show you exactly which point this happened in this stock. You see this black line that I've drawn here? Again, now have a look at, first of all, let's have a look at this candle. There was wick here. Let's have a look. How did it look on the hourly? How did it look on the hourly? A candle which went up but then came back in completely. Not a good thing, right? If there would have been a good green candle and then it goes down, that would have been absolutely fine. But what is happening over here? Not a good thing, right? Now, on the contrary, let's see the candle which was already marked, and which is this. Okay, let's see it. Let's see it on the hourly. How did it look like? Okay, well, you have the answer now. Such a good 5% up candle on the hourly. Pretty good, and everything is happening within that. So that's a good thing. And see the move for yourself that happened after that. Right? So that's what you have to see. Where exactly you are. With all the concepts together, things will make sense. It'll be easier for you. See this candle here. A lot of wick present over here. A lot of wick present over here as well. So let's see where it is happening. This wick is happening where? And this wick is happening where? And what happened afterwards? Let's have a look. Now look at this. Such a good candle at 10:15. Then comes back down entirely. Comes back down entirely to this point. Versus a good candle, an equally bad candle. Correct? What happens after that? Look at this. Counters this red candle. This move counters it completely and then consolidates. And then gives you the move. That's brilliant. Something which looked horrible even here looks better with two candles combined. So that's how you have to figure out. If you ask me how does the wick candle looks here, again see this. See the volumes on this. Over here it looks bad. It is absolutely bad unless this get countered. Which got countered the very next day in the first couple of hours, and after that smooth consolidation for the rest of the day, and then you see the move that happened. Versus over here, what happened? You had a very good candle, but do keep in mind, daily is going into the extension. And after that, everything came back down. And see, even after this candle, everything came back down. It did not give you a counter move. And hence you had this pull back to this level of what support, and then you had the move. So, a very subtle thing, a very simple thing. But if you get this right, it'll be absolutely fine. I mean, see this candle here. There is a wick on this candle. Now, if you will see on the hourly, the daily is extended. So, let's have a look at the hourly, how that will look like. Again, see, candle on the hourly itself is giving you a lot of wick. And then what happens? Goes down completely here. So, that's never a good thing, right? That's how you have to see these wicks. Combine the location, combine everything, all the concepts together. Everything makes sense then, right? That's how you have to go about it. Again, see these candles. Now look at this candle, right? That you see here. Now this candle on the closing basis you see is a minus 3.24% candle. And with a such big, deep, low wick, just imagine how much down this would have been. If we calculate, at one point of time in the day, this would have been down 9%, almost minus 10%. And that's huge. Let's have a look on this on the hourly. Now look at this. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Such a big red candle, countered so well, but good volumes. Look at this candle. Look at where it is closing. And this entire red move was countered in just few hours. Same thing happened over here again, and then you see the move. So these candles are what? Nothing. If you put the right context, where is this happening? If you draw this level, this is level of support. These candles are actually buying candles. So there is a lot in the Wicks, if you see, right? You join the concepts together of, your support resistances, locations, events, DNA, everything all together. And then you will see that there is a lot more to the Wicks, where they are happening, how they are happening. They'll give you a lot of clues about best stocks. So that's the way to go about it. And I hope your doubts are clear. I can definitely go on picking up many examples here. But I believe I've definitely given you a lot of material here to think upon. I've given you direction. Now the point is that you go back, you watch this lecture at least thrice, you revise all the concepts together again, you put them down together, and then see the charts. It's pretty simple. If the DNA of the stock is good, and you know where you are, what is happening in the stock, what is the relativity, you will be able to make sense of everything, right? So all the concepts together, nothing in isolation, then only things will work, right? So yeah, I think it was pretty good. I just made this lecture just because you had this doubt, and I wanted to make sure you are very clear on this. See, you ask a doubt, I'm more than happy to go over my way. Even at 11 p.m. at the night, doesn't matter. The point that matters is, are you clear or not? So let me know whether this lecture cleared your doubt or not.